Georgia Southern University primed to host this Sun Belt Soccer Championship. It has been a fabulous week here in Statesboro, and a nice crowd has gathered on hand to watch the first champion crowned in this conference since 1995 when South Alabama won that title. Georgia Southern will start in a 4-3-3. They feel this suits their attack against this Hartwick team. Keep an eye on Jack Falley out of the goal, and they are stacked. We talked about Sven Bjorsen, the midfielder, number 25. Also Lapan, Rising, Vargas, Masis, Raji the forward, Dinka also up there. And the head coach is Kevin Kennedy in his 9th year on the job. Kevin Kennedy has been spectacular. There's Hartwick as they're going to go with a 4-5-1. Hartwick is led by their goalie. He has been tremendous. Tom Buckner, the junior out of England. As Eddie stated in the open, very international. You got players from Scotland, players from Canada, Australia, and England. And we're underway.
Outside fullbacks as Georgia Southern try to do. It's prime in this type of condition.
Jack Falley, the goalie from Lilburn, Georgia. Falley is a junior and a transfer from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. So Georgia Southern in the navy blue jerseys and Hartwick in the all-white here today. And the Eagles will control. Georgia Southern, a team that as soon as conference play started, they really kicked it into overdrive, and their goal today, Eddie, is to limit the Hartwick chances. The Hawks with an early attack. So Chris Walter on the corner kick, senior midfielder. Hawks will put it in position here and kicked over the goal by Kit Trieger. Jack Falley, goal kick. This Eagles team full of superstars. 6 of these players, Eddie, made the all Sun Belt team. They've had a fabulous year, an 8-8 record. They've taken on some very tough competition as well. And for the first time, Tom Buckner will control the ball for Hartwick. Hartwick national champions back in 1977. And they have made 7 NCAA Final Fours. They have a rich soccer tradition. Head coach John Scott wants to make sure this program kind of relights that tradition. They've been a little quiet on the national scene as of late. Here's Mike Rude. player you highlighted, Eddie, in the open, sophomore mid out of Conklin, New York. Hunter Lloyden, young man out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Tregear puts it downfield.
Those are the matches that I spoke about early in the broadcast, just those matchups of center mid. You have to win your individual battles in the middle of the field because of the numbers. You know, the midfield's going to be clogged, so you got to win those balls. You got to go forward with the ball under control. Start creating some chances here early in this game.
Hawks controlling it right now. Here's the cross and a nice save by Jack Fally. Fally started his college career at UAB, and after his freshman season just said there was too much noise in Birmingham. He wanted to come somewhere where it was a lot more quiet.
Well, doing that is, you know, the right way to do it. Change programs. Came here to a school that is really going to highlight his talent.
And this will go over to Hartwick. So Hartwick's last time in the NCAAs was 2005. They win this game here today, they will punch their ticket, get an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament with a win in this game. Now Dean Fowler attacking for the Hawks. Jack Miller. Jamie O'Grady ahead. And that one's headed out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Hunter Lloyden. There's John Scott, head coach, and he comes from Scotland. Spent 9 years at Binghamton and then found a home at Hartwick, and he went to Hartwick, played soccer there back in his playing days, so he feels right at home.
Well, and the importance of having someone who went to school here, who knows the program, who knows the history of the program, and of course, he knows of that international connection. Of course, they brought him here to play, and you know, he takes pride in bringing some of those Scottish, English players as well, even though they have some other nationalities in this team.
David Vargas now, nice run for the Eagles. These are the talented players that can break you down. Coach Kennedy was talking about. Nice possession. Good idea there as it was put up in the air by Emmanuel Raji. Eddie, these guys have got some fancy footwork.
And that's the thing, keeping possession of the ball right there, right where it counts. Take your chances, but you got to keep the ball because at the same time, you're not giving anything away out of the back. Staying composed, staying compact in the back is the key for them.
Austin Rising gets the cross, and the first shot of the day for the Eagles, just wide. But a good idea by Georgia Southern.
And that's what you need to do to open up the space when there's not a lot behind the defenders. And of course, Hartwick doing a good job keeping the line, the flat back four in the back. You're gonna have to start taking chances from the outside to try to open up some of those holes, those gaps. And once you do that, you can get behind the defense with the through ball.
Coach Kennedy, his team, a very physical, exhausting matchup on Friday against Georgia State. They spent all of yesterday in the ice baths and resting. That's the second time that they had played Georgia State in 6 days. Georgia State won the regular season finale.
And that's
Georgia
one of
Southern
the things that, yeah, as you mentioned, how deep of a bench they're going to have. There's a couple of very good players that can come off the bench for Georgia Southern and be impact players. As you mentioned, they used a lot of legs in that semifinal to get here.
Eagles, Chase Park, good idea. Emmanuel Raji has got some skill. Now Hunter Lloyden offside.
Raji with a great turn You know, he flicked the ball to himself, and then he tried to put Hunter Loudon down the line, who was making a great run from the outside in. Of course, he gets called off. It's an offside, but that's exactly what you want to do as a post-up forward. Like Raji right there, just turn and play the ball to the outside, put somebody through, and then make your run to the inside. Here's we see a nice little flick to himself. He plays the ball into the corner. And of course, if you're playing outside mid, you need to stay onside. So that's your job to stay onside before the ball is played.
How about Raji? Really get up in the air for Georgia Southern. Justin Broom now gets it back from his goalie.
And now we're starting to see Georgia Southern possessing the ball a little bit better, getting to the end line.
Taken away. And the official right there to make the call.
Vargas gets tripped from behind in the middle of the field. And this is when they can slow the play down a little bit. Hartwick playing very defensive. As he was turning, Vargas tried to switch point of attack, just gets clipped from behind a little bit from Chris Walter.
Now Chase Park. Middle of the field. Trying to get position was Raji. Right now, Raji and Dinka really having their way in the middle of the field, although Hartwick able to take it back.
Yeah, and Raji's doing a good job just checking to the ball. When you're a post-up forward, you need to do that. Not all the balls are going to be behind the defense, so you got to check in and you got to hold the ball, especially you're trying to bring your midfielders from the outside in, some of your defensive center mids up, and you're attacking, but doing a good job holding it.
Eagles attacking again, middle of the field. Foot race, Vargas trying to split the defense, and it's broken up.
Vargas has Raji up on the right. Actually, that's Dinka on the left-hand side. Try to take two players on, split the difference.
Crowd loved the effort. Now they'll try and set it up again, and Ethan LePan tried to get up. Needed about another foot, and he would have had a nice flick.
And then we talk about size difference right there. You can tell the difference between the Georgia Southern forwards against the Hartwick defenders. Just quite a bit of a difference. Pretty solid in the back for the Hawks, playing that semi-flat back four system. They're not going to give you anything in the middle. They're going to send you to the outside, and you can take your chances from 30 out on a long-range shot. Other than that, they're going to try to close the space for Raji and Vargas as they try to bring the ball up.
It is a perfect soccer day, Eddie. It feels like fall. Temperature's down, but not much of a wind here right now.
Absolutely, great weather to play because it's not too humid, it's not too hot, just the right conditions.
And a call. It's going to be Hardwick's possession. The official wants him to tee that one up one more time.
Jamie O'Grady trying to get creative and trying to hit the early one for the counter. He was looking for Mike Rude, and the referee takes it back.
Ross McKinnon gets it ahead. Now Chris Walter on the far side of the field. Hawks trying to get some numbers back. And coming back to help is David Stiles. He's taken down. And this will be kicked out of bounds. No, actually taken by Jack Falley. He came up and got it.
Stiles just ran into a wall there.
Eric Dinka.
Dinka looking for Raji, who went to the wrong side.
Now Hardwick will slow it down. I think Hartwick, Eddie, realizes, I don't know if they can run up and down all day long with this Georgia Southern team. The Eagles just have too many athletes.
Well, and their style is a little bit different. They're trying to play a little more direct, so for them, they're going to have to get creative because this.
Jack Miller, nice move, and sets it up. Shot. Oh.
Stiles call for an offside. A good idea by Jack Miller, just going forward out of the back. And that's what they need to do, just use different variables because playing the long ball into So they're attacking forward. Just, you know, Southern's pretty good in the back as far as their defensive shape, so you're not going to beat them that way. You're going to have to beat them on the 2v1s on top of the box, and you have to get creative.
So Fally makes his first big save of the day. This Georgia Southern front line, not very big. Only go about 5'7", 5'8". Really rely on their skill. What they do best, Eddie, is the counter attack. Coach Kennedy emphasized how so many goals this season and so many big clutch goals have come from the counter.
It's very important, and when you use it as a system, when you have the speed to counter get teams, it can be very, very efficient. Of course, having the right personnel. And now, Drew, we see Southern changing a little bit of their formation. We see them going 2 forwards now. You see 4 across now. And Ethan LePond just playing a little bit wider. Using the width out of the back. They're going to keep the ball.
Try and get Lloyd in. Hartwick wants a handball, not going to matter. They'll throw it in as Jack Miller does the honors.
That's a good ball by Southern, though, trying to switch the point of attack, hitting that long diagonal ball. What you're going to do is you're going to bring Hartwick defense from one side to the other. Therefore, they have to leave some spaces in the back open. Once you do that a couple of times, you're going to start finding the holes in the middle of the field.
Amy O'Grady wears number 22 for the Hawks. Mentioned so many international players on this Hartwick team, Eddie. Americans versus international players. It used to be where kids growing up in the USA were so far behind the international players, but that gap is starting to close.
Well, I think they're behind on training hours. We talk about 2 practices a week and the game on the weekends, but I think it's getting closer to where, you know, players are playing year-round, of course, weather permitted. But you know, talking to Coach John Scott, he said, well, now, of course, here in our program, we try to play every single day and try to reach that gap.
This is going to be another goal kick, second of the game for Hartwick coming up. So Chris Walter will take the corner. Walter out of Snyder, New York. Brings all the energy to this Hartwick team. It's a nice ball. And going up to get it is Fally. Boy, that had danger written all over it.
It did. It was a nice driven ball to the far post with an in-swinger, and of course, goalkeeper Jock Fally, that's a good job just coming out, commanding his box. That's what you want out of your goalkeeper, just to come out. Anything in the air belongs to your goalkeeper, anywhere inside the 6.
Tell you what, Hartwick right now getting some pretty nice chances. If you're John Scott, you got to be happy with what your team's accomplishing.
Well, and he talked to us about the importance of taking advantage of the set pieces, you know, whether it's via corner kick, free kick, because he knows they're playing a little more defensive with this 4-5-1 on the road. They're going to have to take care of their chances on free kicks and corner kicks, and they're doing so. A couple of chances outside the box, great corner kick. Now they're getting a little more confidence on the ball.
Jack Miller gets them into their offense. Dean Fowler now with it. The Hawks got the chemistry working right now. Georgia Southern back on their heels just a bit.
And you can tell the momentum has shifted a little bit more for this Hartwick Hawks team. It's actually getting comfortable on the ball, and now they're starting to come out of the back rather than just hit the long one into space and see what happens. John Scott told us, the longer this game goes, the 0-0 kind of benefits us because we're the away team. So we don't have to panic. We can take our time and take our chances.
And stolen away. Hawks come up and get the theft. David Stiles now racing. And Georgia Southern takes it right back.
Great job by Ross McKinnon out of the back, who stepped in front of the forward from Georgia Southern. Just made a great run after he stole the ball.
See, Thor Sven Bjorsen, the player we talked about in the open, he has not really been a factor so far for Georgia Southern. He hasn't been able to possess it very long, Eddie.
And that's the key right there. He hasn't gotten the ball to his feet, and when you have a player like that, you have to give him the ball. You know, it doesn't matter how good of a player you have. If you don't get the ball, then there's not much he can do. You're right. If you're Southern, you got to figure out a way to get him the ball and get him the ball to his feet so he can have time and a little more space as well.
Georgia Southern crowd starting to make some noise. Eagles hungry for a Sun Belt men's conference title.
And of course, Drew, a ticket to the postseason, to the tournament, and extend your season.
Now the women's soccer program from South Alabama able to advance to the NCAA tournament. We crowned them as champion last week, Eddie, and Mobile, the big win over Troy that they had. They advanced to the NCAAs, fell to Florida State this week, but still a fabulous season for the Jaguars. That's Sharday Hannah. She was one heck of a player last week.
She was freshman of the year, MVP.
That one set up nicely. Emmanuel Raji, a good idea, but nobody was there.
Good idea on the flick, but it has to be a little more precise. And once you're in that finishing third of the field, you have to be play to feed. You don't have any more space behind, so everything has to be to feed, especially your 1-2s, to try to get around the defenders.
So Ross McKinnon, the junior left back out of Glasgow, Scotland, on the far side of the field, tosses it in. The Eagles win the ball right back. Raji getting a little physical on that far side. Here comes Georgia Southern again with some numbers. Raji trying to square one up. Nice footwork right there. The shot is just high. Boy, that was close.
It was. Great ball. Great chance for Raji, rather. He takes 3 players on after he gets the ball out wide. Took the ball to the inside, then cut him out to the outside, and both defenders get into the inside, especially Kit Krieger. He took a shot to the outside.
End of the game, Nick Wells out of Stockbridge, Georgia, and a young man from Tampa, Blake Wilson. Eddie, somebody you're really familiar with.
That's right, Drew. Great player. Of course, he was playing a little bit further up for us back in Tampa. Very technical player. We talked about Southern not being a very physical player. He is that physical player, so I think he brings that into this team. Playing on the left here, closer to us, but he's definitely a player, can be a catalyst for this Southern team to make things, get things going, especially on the score.
Get it ahead on that left side. Hawks trying to win this ball. And look at the physicality. And finally a whistle, and Mike Rude puts his hands up in the air. I don't know, Eddie, that looked like both guys were trying to fight for the soccer ball.
It was a good challenge, so the officiating's been pretty good today.
So far, letting the kids play. Always like to see that.
That's a sign of a great referee. When you don't notice him in a match, in a game. Here we see a replay on that. Both players going to the ball. It's a physical challenge, but we see a little pull at the end by Ethan Lapon. He gets called for that.
Eagles fans making their voices heard with the "I Believe" chant that made itself famous at the World Cup.
They believe, and they won a win today, this Sun Belt Conference Championship.
Hartwick comes in here, a big-time underdog, but they have kind of been that way all season long. We talked about the 12 games that they had played in the preseason, and they went without a win. They were walking around campus really not sure how the student body was receiving them. A little embarrassed that they had not won just yet, and Coach John Scott admitted, I did not expect my team to be in this spot. They had to fight through a ton of adversity to get here.
They did, you know, and of course, Coach Scott told us that we just went on about our business. We just focused on the fundamentals of the game, went back to work, and were able to break that streak. But it was not easy just walking around campus, especially when you could not get a result for 12 games. I think their record at the time was 0-8-4. And of course, not very promising start to their season. And then they were able to turn things around, and here they are fighting for the Sun Belt Championship. Quite a contrast from their beginnings this season.
Coach Scott is a Celtics fan, is a Scotsman, says that adversity made this team so much stronger. When you asked him, Eddie, this week about being a Celtics fan, is that kind of the tradition over in Scotland?
He said he had a tough time wearing blue, of course, Celtic being green and white. And of course, speaking of the Rangers-Celtic, rivalry in Scotland, two of the top two teams in Scotland. So either you're a Ranger fan or Celtic fan for the most part, of course.
No in between.
No in between. So he said it kind of hurts him to wear blue, but it's for a good cause. You would, as we see, Blake Wilson just taking two players to school right off the bat. So Southern needs to keep the ball away, especially with that system with good midfielders. As we see Vargas, another very good technical player. Just keeping the ball is crucial for them in this game.
Good job by Thor as he comes up to break that one up. Jack Miller. So the feeling out process about over here.
Okay, fans, it's time to
now
play
nearly
Sunday
20 minutes
Bash.
into this match. Here in the 19th minute, no score. Georgia Southern and Hartwick, Drew Felios, Eddie Rodriguez. Great to have you with us from Statesboro.
Will receive a free Sunbelt Conference prize pack.
A good crowd here at Georgia Southern Soccer Complex. There's John Scott, the head coach of Hartwick. Wanted to get into coaching since he was a kid, loved the camaraderie, and he's enjoying this year playing at his alma mater. Actually met his wife at Hartwick as well, so lots of great memories and great times he has enjoyed at that school. Eagles, chance at a run here. Nick Wells still with possession, and that one eventually broken up by Hartwick, but Georgia Southern gotta like the idea.
Yeah, Nick Wells was trying to play Hunter Lown on the left-hand side. Of course, you have Blake making that run into the space and Vargas on the other side. Just coming out of the back, good job. Just trying to go forward.
Blake Wilson trying to square it up, good shot, and the save by Tom Buckner. But that's what the Eagles have to continue to do, put pressure on the goalie.
They have to put pressure just from anywhere. That's a good 30-yard shot right there from Blake. Does a good job just collecting the ball, turning inside, and just letting it go. And of course, if you're one of the forwards, you need to follow those. You never know when the goalkeeper's going to fumble the ball.
David Stiles comes out of there with it for Hartwick. Stiles trying to get to the corner, create a little space. But a good play by Aiden Rising out of Gainesville, Georgia, the redshirt sophomore. Eddie, it's one thing to slide, it's another thing to do it with authority.
Absolutely, you want to send the message, you know you're sending a statement as well.
Up in the air, saw Fowley kind of hesitate towards the ball. Hawks trying to get a good chance. Jack Miller now. Eagles break it up. Well, you see Thor Sven-Bjorsen kind of commands the middle of that field.
Yeah, great job. He was closing that gap in the middle. As, you know, Hartwick was trying to make that diagonal, that ball into the box. He just comes across, steals the ball, and you're right, he's got the physical presence in the middle of the field. It's a great defensive center mid, and of course, he brings that extra advantage going forward for the Southern team.
It's kind of like the enforcer in there. Up in the air, goalie comes out. Fally took a chance, and this time it pays off.
Great ball into the box, and Jack Fally does a great job coming out, just punches the ball out as we see Blake Wilson battling for the ball. He wins it, and now he's in a breakaway.
Eagles with their best chance, and Wilson taken down. Oh, the crowd really wants a foul right there, and the official steps in.
He called it right outside the box. Blake Wilson was in a breakaway, as we see here. Watch the closing players, 2 players. It's actually a good tackle, and got a ball, actually. Kind of hard to see from our angle here. Great job by Hartwick just closing the space because Wilson had a shot, had a good angle on the goalkeeper.
What's the right call made, Eddie?
I think it was a good call. From where we're standing, could see that, you know, because they got the ball as well. You don't have the right angle, but from where we were, I think it was a good challenge. And of course, if you're Blake Wilson, you need to let that ball go earlier, knowing that defenders from Hartwick are going to close you down. You don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of space. So once you take a touch, you need to let it go.
Eagles trying to put it together here. David Vargas had some space. Coming up to cut him off was Kit Trieger.
Vargas, the ball just gets away from him a little bit. He was trying to control the ball as he was looking to play Blake Wilson into the space. But at least now they're trying to look for the 1-2s. Now they're finally clicking.
Knocked out. Crowd wants a handball, but it looked like he took one in the face. Javon Beckford, the left midfielder out of Jamaica, had a big goal against Appalachian State on Friday.
Gets, Southern defender just wants to clear the ball, and he just gets one right on the face. Javon Beckford, a little shooken up here. He's going to get a sub.
Boy, that has got to hurt. Eddie, I'm sure you had a few times where you took one right in the kisser in your playing days.
A few. Yeah, it does hurt. It's a good thing it's not that cold, because if it was another 20 degrees cooler here, then. But of course, nowadays they have to do a concussion test, make sure he's okay. As we see the trainer doing due diligence on Javon. And as you mentioned, he had a great goal coming into this to get here to the final.
Jack Miller to throw it in. And the sun has come out here in Statesboro, so the temperature just feels like it went up about 10 degrees. Really getting physical right now, and you saw Blake Wilson fly into your screen right there.
He got called for the foul for challenge. And when you're challenging for the ball, you have to keep your eye on the ball. If you're keeping an eye on the defender, if you're going to challenge someone's space, then if you don't have a chance to get to the ball, then they're going to call you for a foul.
From the corner, good slide. Hunter Lloyden defending his space. Eddie, I know we don't have a score just yet, but would you say that there is an edge for either team up to this point?
I think it's pretty even right now. You know, both teams have had a few chances, but think both teams have rectified some of their weaknesses, especially where the other team was able to capitalize, especially in the space in the middle. But as I told you early in this game, the key to both teams is going to be the possession on the field, just trying to get the 1-2s, trying to get behind their defense, because we knew both teams were pretty solid defensively. We knew both teams, you know, could score goals, maybe not a lot, but I had a feeling this is going to be one of those games with not a lot of score, maybe a 1-0, maybe 2-1. So it is crucial for both teams to start implementing their systems as we go further along in this game.
And coming out of the game, that's Rio Dott, the senior mid for Hartwick. Sven Bjornsson now controlling for Georgia Southern, the host school.
And now you see Thor just, oh, that's a bad giveaway. Here comes a counter. This is trouble.
Chris Walter started this, and he didn't get to finish it. Jack Falley, easy save right there.
And one of the problems with Thor, I was saying, coming back so far back to collect the ball, you get him out of the center mid, so by the time he's got the ball, he's just too far away from any of the action, and he's not really, you know, he's not going to be influential that far back. So you got to push the lines a little bit. The problem is numbers in the middle.
Bodies hit the floor there. Nick Wells now attacking for Georgia Southern. Eagles look like they have shaken off some of the cobwebs in the early going. Now Hunter Lloyden.
Oh, great ball by Ches Spark, looking for Lloyden in the left. He's one-on-one in the corner, looking for Blake.
Lloyden gives it to his teammate. Oh, looked like he had a shot right there, but the ball a little bit in front, Eddie, and he couldn't get a foot into it.
That's right, Blake Wilson trying to play the ball behind, but just give credit all the way to the backs of this Georgia Southern. Chase is starting out of the back, playing to the left middle, into the space. That's what they need to do. Here's the replay. Blake Wilson turns. Looks like he's got a shot, and he was trying to play that ball back for Vargas in the middle, and defender just steps in. Great chance for Southern.
Nick Wells, and a player is down, and that looks like Thor Sven Bjornsson. I think he took a shot on that last exchange, and he's not moving right now.
That's Dean Fowler on the foul. He gets a yellow on that. So he just took care of Thor in the middle of the field.
Dean Fowler, the junior forward out of Sydney, Australia. Right now, the crowd really giving him a hard time.
One of the many internationals for this Hartwick Hawks. And the crowd is really having a field day with him.
That's why you're thankful if you're in the game right now. The official has a talk with him right now. And now the crowd steps up their chatter. You're thankful you don't have your name on the back of your jersey, because that's another thing the crowd will use against you.
Absolutely. Media guys, anything they can get their hands off. Relatives, nothing safe here.
Hartwick unable to control it, as we are now inside 10 minutes left to go in this first half. Both teams have had some quality chances, still no score. Now the wind picks up here just a bit in Statesboro. Blake Wilson on that far side, number 22 for Georgia Southern, in the game right now, really making a difference up front for the Eagles. And Wilson is a player, Eddie, that as soon as he came on campus, he was a guy who struggled with the college game. And there was a time when head coach Kevin Kennedy didn't know if he was going to make it. I mean, he was almost about to go home because he had not adjusted to college play, but now he is playing sensational.
Yeah, Coach, you know, Kevin Kennedy told us that he had a tough time adjusting to the speed of the game at the college level. And of course, when some of these kids leave their club, and being the best player in their club just kind of gives them a false sense of security. And then you get to a college, you know, roster of 28, 29, when you're used to being the best player in your club team, and you have a rude awakening. So, but of course, he was able to make the adjustment. He changed his whole approach to the game as far as how you train and how you approach every game, whether it's on the road or at home. And he's he's made a difference in this game. We saw him come in, and he's that post-up forward who can hold the ball. We saw him in the last chance in the box where he tried to play the ball behind. So a very, very smart player, very physical, but he's able to play in this final and bring something to his Georgia Southern team.
Now Nick Wells.
And that's another player who's made a difference since he came in. Nick Wells on the left, very technical, good dribbler. We see him doing the double step over.
Oh, nice play. Here's Wells now, having his way up front. Cut off. Did he hold it too long?
Exactly, a little bit too long. And of course, once that happens, the defender knows what you're going to do, and then you let her retire. It's good to get rid of the mark and then get rid of the ball as well.
Chase Park, he gave it away as well. Dean Fowler picks it off. Georgia Southern just a little antsy on their chances, Eddie. Maybe a little bit nervous here in this championship in this first half.
You're right. They need to slow it down a little bit. They're doing a good job building out of the back, but it's at the last third where they're struggling. They do a good job as well, transitioning from the second third into the attacking third. But once they get to the end, it's just that last touch that is going away from them. But it's just a matter of just keep doing what they're doing, keep working on the fundamentals, the passing, the trapping. They're playing the ball through the space, the narrow space, and just take some shots outside the box.
So Wilson go up and get it. Eagles trying to get a couple more chances here at least before the end of the first half. This is set up nicely. Now they get the center and a clean look. Wells is offsides.
Nick Wells gets called for an offside, but just great job by this Georgia Southern team doing the 1-2s. We see Vargas, we see Rashid in the middle, just doing the 1-2s. And those are the things that are going to get you success on top of the box against this Hartwick team.
Nick Wells, dynamic player, had the game winner against Hartwick in the first meeting between these two teams. Ball sails out of bounds there.
That was Dalton, Church Dalton, who gave the no-look pass from behind, not Rashid.
Jack Miller tossing it in, one of the leaders on this Hartwick team. Now Dean Fowler able to get it to Miller. Hawks want to slow this thing down, get a good possession here.
And that's good. By them slowing it down, they can keep the ball, therefore keeping the ball away from Southern, who's a much better technical team. Of course, for them going into the halftime with a 0-0 tie, that's pretty good for them playing away. So it falls into their tactical game plan.
Eagles outnumbered. Now some of the help comes. Far side, here's the cross, and going up to get it, Tom Buckner with the save.
Buckner nice and solid in the back, saw the ball going to the far post, just reached up and grabbed it.
Head coach John Scott says on this Hartwick roster, no room for luxury players on this team. Eddie, what does he mean by that? No luxury players.
He will not have any prima donnas. If you want a spot in this team, then you need to work for it. That's usually a mentality of, a lot of college coaches and club coaches. You just want players who are going to come in and work out day in and day out. That's the kind of team you want to have. And of course, every once in a while, you will have that special player that, it's better than other players technically, and they tend to be not as hardworking, but it all depends what kind of system you play and what kind of team you have. You can only afford to have one of those in every team, and some teams you don't. Some of these teams you will have 28 hardworking players.
There's Matt Melton, junior midfielder out of Swanee. Another goal kick for Jack Fowler. Fowler, all Sun Belt Conference, as a goalie for the Eagles. 7th in the country in saves. This one sails out of bounds, and it will be Hartwick. Possession. Ross McKinnon out of Glasgow, Scotland. A junior left back. O'Grady. Now Kit Tregear. Lots of space. They finally come up and defend him.
Yeah, you get that sensation that
they looked
Georgia Southern has just kind of stayed defensively. I was waiting for that shot, see if keeper was going to come out, but they just kind of set back a little bit the last, 5-6 minutes of this match. It's almost like, okay, we know we're going to go into halftime and the game is tight, but it's crucial time right now, the last 3 minutes of the game. You still need to press. You cannot let Hartwick, especially as we see this corner here, set pieces, you can't just sit back and wait.
David Stiles with this corner kick for the Hawks. Left footer, dangerous possession, and it sails over.
Great cross, and out swinger. As you can tell, inviting the goalkeeper out. Jack Fall comes out, it just falls short. Ball was going to the far post. Now you see Hartwick just switching the point of attack side to side.
Jack Miller put a good move on Nick Wells, but he got tied up. Too many navy blue jerseys.
Yeah, Miller was trying to go through, got rid of 2, 3, but not the 4 and 5.
Almost got woken up there by a soccer ball right in my lap. That ball comes off the foot hard, Eddie. It can come off at about, what, 80, 90 miles an hour?
Yeah, just a good shot. You drive it probably about, I'd say about 85.
Oh.
Good driven ball.
Georgia Southern fans making sure that Hartwick knows where they are. Hartwick invited to take part in the Sun Belt Conference play. This season it was Georgia Southern, and head coach Kevin Kennedy very instrumental and getting Sun Belt soccer moving once again. They have got to be commended, Eddie. Last time this tournament existed, it was '95. South Alabama won that championship, and they no longer have a team in an era when a lot of major NCAA Division I schools are cutting back.
That's right. You have to give them credit because they were knocking on doors trying to get this conference going. And as you mentioned, they invited some schools like Hartwick. But had it not been for them, this tournament wouldn't be back.
6, 5.
So really a banner day in Statesboro, no matter what the outcome for the Eagles. But we've played one half, and both schools playing it very careful. No score at intermission. Head coach John Scott, perhaps the best dressed coach in the conference. His Hawks yet to get on the board. On the other side, Georgia Southern, the home team. Their explosive offense yet to really get going. Sun Belt Men's Soccer Championship. Hope you're enjoying it. Halftime festivities coming up after this from Statesboro. Just day in Statesboro. 0-0 is your score. Georgia Southern and Hartwick battling for a Sun Belt Men's Soccer Championship. With Eddie Rodriguez, I'm Drew Felios. Talk about the shots at the half. Both teams with 3 shots apiece. That young man right there has been a huge difference maker. Thor Sven Bjornsson, although neutralized for about the first 15 minutes of that first half and then became a factor later on in the session. So these two teams with one prior meeting back on October 12th. Georgia Southern won rather easily over Hartwick, 2-0. This game not nearly as easy. The Hawks look like they are much more organized here today. As you saw John Scott, their head coach. Mike Rude, the sophomore midfielder. We highlighted him in the open. He had a big goal against App State on Friday. He has not really been able to get into the swing of things so far here today. Well, you see Hartwick, the way they huddle up, this team has got some serious resolve And for Coach John Scott, it is 45 minutes, all you need in this game, Eddie. You may just need a goal to get through, but still lots to be determined.
That's right. You might all just need one, but as you mentioned, you know, a good team, they need to capitalize on their chances, and one and done, right? This could be your last game of the season, so a lot riding on the line here. Bragging rights, some hardware, and of course a trip to the NCAA tournament.
And we're underway, second half, and plenty of buzz in the air. Just a festive environment here in Statesboro. This community so excited to host these championships. So Matt Melton will throw it in for Georgia Southern. Also starting on the field is Adam Abdallah, the freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia. He had the game-winning assist in that Georgia State game on Friday. Well, Georgia Southern continues to go to their bench.
It has worked for them. There's no reason why not keep doing it. And as you and I have mentioned throughout the broadcast, just the importance of having to go to your bench, you know, and answer some of the questions, because some of these kids have been playing a lot of minutes. You know, getting to this point here, and it's going to be crucial whether you're going to have enough legs, especially if we get towards the end of the game, where you're going to have to be looking at overtime or even penalty kicks to decide the winner here.
There's John Scott, head coach of Hartwick. And his Hawks will have it. They'll control it. Eric Dinka, the junior out of Coppell, Texas, for Georgia Southern. 5 goals this season. He had a big goal Friday against Georgia State. So another set piece opportunity here for Hartwick. Dinka trying to run it down. And instead, Tom Buckner is going to get a chance. Eagles will throw it in near the corner.
Raji back in the game, and he's, you know, looked really busy the first 15-20 minutes of this game. So we see him here posting up. Nice little flick.
Eagles keeping it alive near the goal, really getting physical. And Emmanuel Raji got lost down there. There's Dalton Churchwell, junior mid in the game for Georgia Southern. He's a walk-on. His father played for Georgia Southern back in the 80s.
Yeah, Coach Kevin Kennedy told us he's the first player to have a father and son playing the same squad. A little tradition.
And Coach Kennedy has never coached Georgia Southern to a conference championship. They did finish 2nd and 3rd, respectively, in the Southern Conference from their days there.
Chris Walker right there just fouling Thor, and the referee didn't like that. Didn't like the fact that after the card, as we see him, they challenges Thor from behind. That's a little push. And then he turns and just takes a shot after the referee had blown the whistle. Pretty clean game this far as you know, cards from the referee.
Ethan LePan working. Georgia Southern trying to mount an attack here. Matt Melton. Abdallah. Nearly taken down. Eagles ball. So Javon Beckford trying to defend for Hartwick. And this one will go out of bounds, and it will go to the Hawks. Eric Dinka. Dinka only goes about 5'6", but he can fly.
He's got speed.
Abdelau now trying to square it up. Crowd wants a whistle there, not going to get it.
Ross McKinnon with a slide tackle right in the middle of the box right there. Georgia Southern asking for the call.
That sails out of bounds. Hartwick will control on the far side.
Wilson Sporting Goods is proud to be the official soccer ball of the Sun Belt Conference.
Here's that tackle right here. Watch, takes the ball to the inside, just right as he was ready to take the shot.
Good no call?
Abdallah, yeah, he got the ball. Not the ball and the ankle, just the ball.
Is it the job of
Kevin Kennedy coming off the bench, just not happy at all with the possession of the ball.
We'll stick with Hartwick again, and Georgia Southern a little frustrated here.
Very frustrated. They haven't been able to do what they did and what worked for them in the first half, and that is just come out of the back while keeping possession of the ball. They just keep playing that through ball when it's not on, and for a team that's very technical, you do not want to get out of your scheme, because then Hartwick is going to get in your head. Before you know it, you're going to start making mistakes. It can actually cost you the whole conference, the whole season.
There's a look at the Hartwick bench. Not a lot of emotion right now. John Scott said, if I wasn't coaching, not sure what I would do. It is my life. So hungry for a win here this afternoon. Eagles now running. Matt Melton waits for it. And the header, they get it ahead to Raji. And the ball's going to sail out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick, and the first one of the match for Georgia Southern.
That's right. Good job by Georgia Southern to start to try to connect on the 1-2s. We see Thor playing that ball into the space that finally got to Raji here. Here we see in that through ball. Nice little header going into the space. Raji, oh, there's the handball there that didn't get called. Of course, from our angle and from our view, couldn't see it. We saw it in that replay.
Sven Bjornsson, his ball was deflected immediately. Trying to control it now, Dalton Churchwell.
Great talk about Chris Walker there.
I think Georgia Southern is finding out that this Hartwick team, not the same team that they dealt a 2-0 blow to earlier this season. This Hawks team much better.
Absolutely. You know, you and I have been talking about how much they progressed throughout the season, how much better they gelled, and of course, I mean, all those different international players. And here you see a different Hartwick team that can actually play well together. They're actually meshed, and not as technical perhaps as Georgia Southern, but definitely a lot better than they did in the beginning of the season.
Abdelau fights through that tackle and trying to get it ahead. An opportunity for the Eagles. Eric Dinka trying to slow this one up. LePan now trying to establish a shot. They got to hurry up because the defense is coming back.
It was a great ball by Abdelau, played into the space. And you know, you and I talked about the importance of taking the shot off quickly. That was the chance right here. Watch this 1-2. He actually takes care of the defender. It's a great through ball right there, splitting the defense, and that's where he's got to take the shot. Take a touch to control the ball, and then hit it. Eric Dinka takes just a little bit too long to get the shot off.
Adam Abdelau got that run going for the Eagles. Georgia Southern needs more opportunities like that. So Georgia Southern showered the all Sun Belt Conference list. 6 Eagles made that squad. That means that they have the respect of the conference. Coach Kennedy, man, he is putting some all-stars in this league.
That's right, and when you talk about numbers and how many people from your program made it to that all-conference team, that should tell you that how well your team is playing, and of course them being the favorite in this Sun Belt Conference championship here.
Coach Kennedy building his team from the back. We often hear that in soccer terms. The best way to build a team is from the back up. Is that the best way to build a team, Eddie, if you were coaching?
Absolutely. You always want to solidify your defense and start from there. Sort of like building a house and start with a foundation.
Are there coaches in the game who have done it the other way, who have gone offense first, kind of like in football, focus everything on offense and worry about the defense later?
Not-successful one. I mean,
really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but, you know, I don't think so. The majority of the times you want to start with your system, and that's how you really implement your system. What system you're gonna be playing, it depends on what players you have. Everybody loves to play with 3 in the back, but if you don't have the speed to play with 3 in the back, you're gonna have to go with 4 or a stopper sweeper, which is the old style of play defense. But you know, pretty much everybody starts from the back. Now, if you have a Messi type of player, you get a player, and then you build a team around him.
That's what I was about to say.
Yes. But, of course, you're basing everything on one great player who's your playmaker, if you will.
You know, Hartwick has controlled the ball for a lot of this second half thus far, but they haven't had a good scoring chance in quite some time.
You're right. Right now they're playing, you know, pretty good defense, but not much going forward. So we see this great ball.
Abdullah again in on it. And it will be to the Eagles.
And that switch, the point of attack right there, that's crucial because if you see the majority of both teams are in that sector of the field, so with one ball, you can switch a point of attack. So we see it here, watch. Of course, it's Thor, he's got great vision. He turns, he just lets it go. 50-yard ball on the money, looking for Abdullah to the far side of the field. That's just a great thing to do.
Ball got cut up. Too many touches that time. Matt Melton couldn't come back to it. Melton trying to save it. It goes out of bounds. It'll be to the Hawks.
And other than Mike Rude, who's playing that lonely striker for Hartwick, not much have they created. They're playing that, you know, very direct style of soccer, just long and driven.
Coming in to cut it off. Good play by Jamie O'Grady. And that shot is wide. Finally, some sort of threat from Hartwick on goal.
Yeah, that's actually a clearance by Hunter Loudon, who kind of mishits the ball, goes out for a corner kick, but that, from our angle, that could have been dangerous. Could have ended up in the back of the net. Corner kick for Hartwick. That's Chris Walker.
Walter gets it high up in the air, and the Hawks can't do anything with it. Hartwick right now looks like they don't really have that one true finisher.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, Walter has that as a system. He plays that corner kick to the far post. We saw it in the first half. He does it again here. And that was Kid Trigger in the back trying to hit that one-timer, just not able to make good contact with the ball. Ball goes out of bounds.
Here's a lane, Javon Beckford. And the speed of Georgia Southern right now looks like it's wearing on Hartwick just a little bit.
Javon trying to hit that ball and actually hit the ground.
See Coach Scott making notes, very technical coach. He has been to the NCAAs 2 times when he was at Binghamton, trying to do the same for Hartwick. Collision at midfield. And finally a whistle.
He gave advantage to Abdullah on that challenge, and he finally gets the call when they didn't have a chance to win that ball down the line.
Abdullah, number 13, has made a lot of plays today off the bench.
Yeah, he's been very good. As we see there, he goes to get the ball. He gets taken down, and the referee tried to play the advantage, and once that ball died down the field, he called the ball back for a free kick.
This is Hunter Lloyden. Still 0-0 with 30 minutes to play in regulation. Abdullah waiting for it. He's taken down, but he'll stay with the Eagles.
Great ball once again by Thor. Gets the ball on top of the box. Switches the point of attack, looking for Abdullah.
And here's Blake Wilson again. It's a nice round of applause. He had a big impact in the first half.
He did, and Coach Scott trying to look for him to, 29 minutes left in this game. This is when you want to start bringing the subs and give them enough time for them to change the tempo of this game.
Shot. Good save right there. Buckner makes another one for the Hawks. Once again, defensive help. Abdullah making a lot of plays on the field, frustrating this Hartwick offense.
We see this Hartwick Hawks players just getting frustrated, not able to connect on the 1-2s, and of course, Georgia Southern doing a pretty good job defensively. We always say, Drew, the best players, the important players, do things at the right time in the important moments, and this is. This game is shaping up for that, for one of these players to be the hero, whether you come off the bench or you're a starter. You got to be big in big games.
Nice play. Javon Beckford creating some space. Got the cross, and the Eagles get there just in time.
Javon doing a 1-2, gets to the end line. As we see Wilson over here in the other hand fighting for the ball.
There was that last sequence for Hartwick.
Yeah, look, this great technical ability. He flicks the ball to himself, gets to the end line, crosses the ball back. Good defense by Georgia Southern, just closing that space at the right time. Nice and composed for Hartwick. It's Ross McKinnon out of the back, left fullback. And then they kick the ball to no one on top. I'm sure they were looking for Mike Rude. Looks a little bit sluggish now, tired.
Well, you're watching the Men's Soccer Championship for the Sun Belt Conference on ESPN. Great to have you with us. Drew Felios, Eddie Rodriguez. Here in Statesboro, Georgia, a perfect day to decide a champion. It's been cold all week. I think this is the best weather that they have had.
Perfect conditions for this game. I don't think you could have asked for better weather here.
Eddie, you look around this field, just immaculate, and it has been played on all week long. You could never tell.
Oh yeah, it's a great facility. We talked about the dimensions of it, 120 by 80. I mean, it's just a great quality pitch. Spoke to the coach earlier and said the crew did a great job just maintaining this field. As you mentioned, a lot of games this week, and it looks like this is the first one today.
This field's so nice, you weren't sure if it was real grass or artificial surface.
That's right.
As the fans have been in this thing since the opening minutes. And it's not always easy to stay in the game from start to finish when it's 0-0 and so much time has gone by, but they are still sticking by their Eagles.
Javon on the ball, plenty of tricks, quick on his feet.
Ross McKinnon gets it out to Jamie O'Grady. Oh, nice play. That was nearly a goal. Dean Fowler had shaken free, and he just had Fally in front of him.
Yeah, a great one touch by his teammate on the inside, just put him through, just not able to get the shot off, but you're right. Watch this one time right here. Ball goes to the far post. This is a great touch right here.
Oh.
Just putting him on by himself, just a little bit too far forward, but just a great chance for this Hartwick team. Dean Fowler. Ball gets away from him a little bit.
There's Chris Walter. Corner kick, Hartwick. Trying to get the header. Danger zone, and it's a goal. The Hawks have gotten on the scoreboard here in Statesboro.
We talked about the importance of taking care of set pieces. Jamie O'Grady on the far post. A ball driven into the box. Nobody can clear it.
Jamie O'Grady.
Not the way Georgia Southern predicted this corner kick. Good ball driven into the box.
Number 12, Eric Dinka.
David Stiles just, here we see another angle, drives the ball to the far post. And just nobody can clear the ball. And of course at the end it's Jamie O'Grady with the tap in to the far post to put his Hartwick Hawks teams up 1-0.
So Jamie O'Grady, the sophomore midfielder from Scotland, gets the Hawks on the board. It's 1-0. And I think this crowd a little shocked right now, Eddie.
I don't think not only the crowd, but the coaching staff from Southern too, and the players didn't expect to be down 1-0 after they've been knocking on the door, just unable to capitalize on their chances, but pretty much at the tempo of the game. And on the other hand, of course, Hartwick, a very disciplined team. We talked about, you know, them being dangerous on set pieces, and here it is. They put one away on a corner kick.
Here's Jack Miller. Boy, those set pieces can really be an equalizer. Georgia Southern, the much more athletic team. There's another shot, sails high, but Eddie, we see those be a difference maker in international play, on the high school level, on the college level, in the game itself.
Absolutely. That's, you know, and it really truly gives you a chance when you're the lesser team, when you're not as technical or as physical, whatever the difference is between you and the other team, it really does put you at an even keel there. And, you know, there's teams that just, you know, spend all their time in those, and that's how they get results.
Saw the confirmation, 65th minute. Jamie O'Grady scores for Hartwick. There's Javon Beckford now. He gets up off the turf for Hartwick. So does Georgia Southern have an answer? This is not the situation they expected to be in. Head coach Kevin Kennedy. Now is when you find out what your team's really made of.
Absolutely. This is when you truly find the character of your team. A great ball to the far post by Chris Walter. Now the good news for Southern, Drew, is that you still have plenty of time, 23 minutes left in this contest, so plenty of time for your team to go back to work, you know, not panic, just start working out of the back. But you are going to have to go with an extra forward sometime between now and the end of the game, closer to the 10, 15-minute mark. You got to send the troops forward, send the lines, and get an extra forward so you can have numbers up.
And we saw that last week in the women's championship. Troy was down, and Eddie, you were calling for a change in system with about 10 minutes to go. It never happened, and Troy lost the game.
Yeah, it never happened. As you and I mentioned, they had plenty of chances. As a matter of fact, there was one where the ball trickled across the box, and nobody far post to tap it in. I still believe that that would have been the difference for Troy. Nevertheless, they had some chances. They were just not able to capitalize and tie the game. We'll see if the Southern coach, Kevin Kennedy, hears me today about putting that third forward with 10 minutes left in this game.
Coach Kennedy getting a little antsy on that far sideline, knowing that his team now has 22 minutes to make something happen.
Well, and then when this happens and you're stopping the time and you're stopping the rhythm of their game as well, too many stoppage, you know, it kills the time. So it's kind of a time wasted, even though he's going to add a little bit at the end. But you as a coach, you don't like it. You want to just continue to play and just, you know, try to get that that goal, that chance that is going to put things even here in this game.
Georgia Southern's had a lot of quality wins this season over programs like Gardner-Webb, Florida Atlantic, UNC Asheville, Hartwick back on October 12th, Appalachian State, and NJIT. Also taking on some powerhouses like South Florida and Stetson, Howard, tough team, North Carolina as well.
Yeah, you know, good competition, you know, the way to build your program is to play against better competition. And a lot of times the result's not going to go your way. We spoke to the coach from South Alabama last week, and he said, yeah, you know, just playing against teams like Florida and Florida State is going to get us. Here's a replay of that tackle. See if we can see it here. It was just a challenge. I can't really see what happened. Game resumed.
Now under 22 minutes. Kit Tregear for Hartwick, trying to keep his team in it.
And if you're Hartwick, this is when you want to stay calm, cool, and collect. Not give anything up. Stay home. You don't have to score another one, but you do have to protect the one you have, as we see Wilson just turning on the Jets.
Blake Wilson now with the cross. Here comes Thor. And he lets it get away from him. I was about to say, Eddie, if you're Hartwick, you got the 1-0 lead, but you got to be careful. You don't get too complacent, play too conservative.
No, absolutely. You still have to challenge everything, especially defensively. You know, you can still keep your number 10 on top on Mike Rude, but defensively, you don't take chances. You don't have to. You're up 1-0. You have to score, and you also have the time. All you have to do is kill it.
Dean Fowler out of Sydney, Australia. Well, they have players from all over the globe.
They're like the United Nations here.
They really are. And Hartwick, most of their athletes come from other countries. So many athletes from around the world want to come to the United States and participate in NCAA sports. Here's a good chance, Walter, and that's a save by Jack Fowler.
That's a good chance from Walter, just one-timer on top of the box.
So twice, Eddie, in the women's championship and in this game today, the goals have been the result of just chaos around the goal. Haven't seen many clean balls going through the back of the net.
No, and that's the importance of being good in the back and just clearing the ball. The longer you take to clear the ball, something else can happen. As you mentioned, we saw it today, and we saw it last week as well in the women's championship.
Key moment here, Thor Svenbjornsen will tee this one up, under 20 minutes to go.
Watch for Wilson in the far post, known for great heading abilities.
Good placement here. And Hartwick just able to get up, get ahead on it. Now Eagles with one more chance.
Now Hartwick on the counterattack.
Nicely done, well defended by the Eagles. And now a chance at making something happen. But Hartwick with the numbers edge. Georgia Southern's had some good chances, but altogether, just as you said, Eddie, that final third just have not been able to finish here today. And in soccer, it is so important. Number one, to possess, but you got to have that finish to have success.
And they've had chances, not a lot of clear chances, but they've had a few. And we see how deep, far back Blake Wilson comes back to collect the ball, and that tells you how good of a job Hartwick is doing as we see this push in the box in there.
And no whistle from the official.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get that call now, especially game being this tight and how late this is in the game.
Officials wary of that usually?
Yeah, well, it would. Yeah, they do. It would literally have to be so obvious that you don't have a choice but to call it. If it's going to be, you know, controversial, they probably won't call it.
Nick Wells enters the game for Georgia Southern. The freshman out of Stockbridge, Georgia. Dynamic player. He scored on Hartwick the last time these two teams played, and there was another chance Eric Dinka couldn't catch up to it. They've just been a hair off all day.
Wilson looking for Dinka in the far post. Just a tad, and that's exactly that last play what you and I have been talking about. Just, you know, it's almost like it's not quite there yet. They're trying, but just, you know, that ball getting away from you. That's all Southern's missing here from getting the 1-1 equalizer.
Trying to turn it, Dean Fowler able to keep it alive. Now the shot, Jack Fowley able to get it, but David Stiles did a good job for Hartwick to let it fly off his foot.
Speed one, guys. Handball.
Crowd wants a handball. Not going to happen. Here's Mike Rude. Fowley controlling for the Eagles.
Fowley's been really consistent, other than the goal, which wasn't his fault. Of course, he tried to come out, but he's been pretty consistent for this Southern team. And this is the matchup that you want. You want Nick on the ball. We saw him in the first half as we see this great turn, and he actually gets the call here, but you would see the pushing. He gets pushed from behind, but it's able to control the ball.
Looks like some holding going on there as well. In the air, near the goal, and this one just bounces over the goal. Unbelievable. How that did not go in.
Chance of a lifetime. Great ball here. There's actually two Southern players who just...
The best chance of the day for Georgia Southern, just inches away.
And that's how close they've been to scoring a goal. They just got to keep doing it. That's exactly what they need to keep doing. Just create chances, just get to it, and one will come. Plenty of time still, 15-22. And this is right about the time, Drew, that I'd like to see that extra forward, and for that particular reason. So when you get the tap-ins, when you get the close chances in the goal, for you to have numbers up in the box and from somebody just to tap in the ball and tie this game.
Gotta wonder if the Eagles will have a chance as good as that last one. Got to play on. Under 15 minutes now. And Hunter Lloyd and company trying to get their second wind. Players at this point got to be feeling it just a little bit, Eddie. Lots of ground covered here today.
Absolutely. A lot of miles, you know, a lot of sprints.
Lots of games. It's been a long week.
Lots of games. You're right. It's been a long week.
And you got to credit Hartwick. After falling to Georgia Southern in the last outing, coming out, Jack Fowley makes another grab, and now the Eagles trying to get behind their crowd. The crowd trying to pump some life into this team. Ethan LePan can't catch up to this one. Chris Walter beats him to the ball.
No, the ball's still in play.
Now able to turn that one around, and the Eagles will have it. Here's Dinka. Softy that time. Don Buckner comes up to field it. Well, push in the back there. Blake Wilson plays through it. Ethan LePan got some real estate to work with it.
LePan was looking for that through ball to the far post.
Eagles, here's Thor, teeing one up, just high.
Good pressure by Southern, though, coming, just using the width from both sides, using the middle. And I think it comes a third forward I was asking for, Raji. It's just normal to make this change, Drew. You have to. You have, 12 minutes to your season here, so you got to go for it.
The biggest substitution of the season has just come in the game. And it's Emmanuel Raji, number 17 for Georgia Southern. Will hopefully give him an edge. But Hartwick right now playing their best soccer of the season, no doubt.
And at the right time, being disciplined, it's crucial for both teams right now. But of course, if you're winning, as Hartwick has managed to do, you got to stay compact in the back, you got to stay disciplined, and you have to finish the game. You got to play the full 90 with the same tempo, with the same intensity.
Now a corner kick for the Hawks. Everybody on their feet, trying to root Georgia Southern on here.
They're believing. And this is another dangerous corner kick here.
Oh, coming out to get it, Jack Fally got up high in the air.
Well done by Fally, commanding his box, and here comes the counter. Dinka.
Eric Dinka. This team energized by the crowd. Dinka still with it. Sense of urgency by the Eagles. Wells couldn't play it, now Matt Melton. LePan near the box. Oh,
great
boy.
ball by LePan, looking for Blake Wilson in the box. He gets a foot on it, and I think it was a deflection, but
Substitution number 14, Wyatt Scott.
this ball goes to the far post. Blake Wilson, and I think a defender got a hold of that, but
feel like we're at the World Cup, Eddie.
great atmosphere here for both teams, because even if you're Hartwick, you want to play in this type of scenario, so it's, trust me, it makes you want to play.
Coming up on 10 minutes to play. Drew Felios, Eddie Rodriguez. Sunbelt men's soccer title on the line. Georgia Southern finds himself in a 1-0 hole. A goal by Jamie O'Grady of Hartwig gave the Hawks the edge. There was another chance, Eddie. Nobody was in the middle of the field.
And nonetheless, though, as we see this hard tackle here, it's a challenge. Chase Park down on.
Well, Mike Rude showed some sportsmanship there, but Park is shaken up after the collision.
Yeah, he was just a little bit late. You will see Mike Rude looking for that. Oh, he goes cleats up and just, I don't know if he saw Chase Park coming in, but as you were saying before, yeah, Georgia Southern's trying to get those chances. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to keep the pressure up.
Thor puts it in the box. Eagles can't gather it in. Tom Buckner getting high in the sky for that one. Under 10 minutes to go. That one sails way above the goal. So if you're Georgia Southern, Eddie, is it just continue to press the gas pedal until that horn goes off?
That's it. They're doing what they're supposed to do. You just got to keep going forward. Not be so direct. Still play the ball out wide, but you got to keep doing, creating chances. Send the ball from the outside in. Just send numbers up, and you'll get the one that you need to send this thing to overtime.
There's the shot story. 9-8. Eagles with a 1 edge on Hartwick. But right now, the real number that matters is the one at the top of the screen.
Absolutely. And on that shot count, you have to see the quality of the shots as well. I think Southern in this second half has had better quality, at least on goal shots. The only thing right now you don't want to do if you're Southern, Drew, is take too long delivering that ball into the box. So it's okay to build it up. However, you got to do it quick. Build it up 1-2 so you can send the ball forward. You don't want to get caught up in transition, trying to collect the ball, trying to get those balls. As we'll see this.
Oh, there's a tackle, and it gets physical now down on that near sideline as Ethan LePan was mixing it up as Ross McKinnon, check that, Rio Dot was right there to take him down.
Both players being called by the referee. And if you're the ref, you don't want to get this game out of hand here. And it's not just the foul itself, but it's what happens after the foul, the retaliation.
Fans, as a reminder, please do not throw
as we see the foul, but that right there,
field.
watch the grabbing, the elbow throwing. So that's what the linesman's watching for that. So
Thor Sven Bjornsson will have the free kick.
once again, you want a good driven ball into the box. They have some players who can finish that.
Georgia Southern trying to take advantage of this set piece. Sven Bjornsson, ball deflected.
Not the ball that he wanted to deliver to the far post. You got to give your players a chance. You want to put that ball in the air and let the forwards get to the ball.
Tense moments here in Statesboro for the host school, Georgia Southern. Meanwhile, Hartwick not trying to get too carried away. They don't even have many players up. And finally shaking free. A second chance off the rebound. And unable to cash in was Mike Rude. Oh boy, Jack Falley couldn't control the ball, and Rude lost an opportunity right there.
But Falley coming huge on that save, because I tell you what, if Hartwick scores there, that's it, game's over. Great job, great composure of him, just closing the space, and watch that presence. He gets up after the shot. Great job defending his net.
Eagles not out of the woods just yet. Hartwick.
And this is when they start killing the time. You see doing the short corner kicks, you know, so they get another corner kick. Very smart. And that's all they're trying to do, just kill the clock. They know they don't have to go forward, they don't have to push the line, so they're gonna redo the same corner kick. They keep it. They're gonna try to hit it off one of the Southern players.
That time misfiring, so Georgia Southern will have possession once again. Hartwig with a national championship in 1977. That was 36 years ago, if my math is correct. Make it 37. 7 Final Fours to go with it. Trying to add another trophy to their mantle, a Sun Belt championship. Eric Dinka. Dinka is such a skilled player. You just wonder when he's going to break free. Raji misread it that time.
Yeah, that was a good idea, trying to find Raji, and he came to the outside, tried to check for the ball, and the ball got played inside. But Southern with still 6 minutes left in this game. I still think they're going to get one more quality chance.
Eagles attacking. It's go time. Ethan LePan looking for the cross, and he's double teamed. Should he have gotten rid of it sooner?
Absolutely. That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to hold on to the ball. As soon as you have the ball under control, you have to send the ball. Dink on the box.
That's one thing that Georgia Southern has done wrong today, Eddie. Is it controlled it a little bit too long?
A little bit too long, just, you know, wanting to do that extra thing, just keep it simple. Get the ball, send the ball, let somebody else finish it for you.
Keep that defense working.
Well, and at the same time, you're going to keep that, you know, the shape of that defense, you're going to want to keep it on balance. If you're so predictable as knowing you're going to keep the ball. All you're going to do is draw the foul or draw the defenders towards you.
Under 5 minutes. Hartwick trying to hang on. Rio Dot, the senior mid out of Auckland, New Zealand. A big factor today. O'Grady.
As you hear the shout, hold it there. He tries to draw the foul. Nice little dive. Referee says not a chance.
That was Wyatt Scott hitting the deck. And now the Eagles have something cooking.
1-2. Wilson to Thor. Plays the ball out wide.
Oh, really physical. Taking a couple shots was Nick Wells.
We knew he was going to come in and just unbalance that defense, and he does it out of the left mid.
There's the foul story, 8 apiece. Eagles just trying to get one good, clean look.
And you see Mike Rude one-on-one against Chase Park. Of course, Southern sending numbers up, so they really don't care whether you lose by 1 or 2. So they have Chase Park in the back just marking Mike Rude. It's really not time for you to hit those long driven balls just yet.
Matt Melton deflected. Eagles will throw it in, trying to get it in as soon as possible. Under 3 minutes to go. It's desperation time. Dinka taken down, wanting a call, not going to get it. That time they may have been entitled.
Absolutely, but the referee 2-3 steps right there away from Dinka. As we see the replay here, all ball. So you can see in the replay here, look where the ball goes. A lot of the times you can still make contact with the player, but just as long as you make contact with the ball first and your momentum carries you through, you won't get the call. Everyone up here on their feet, Drew, waiting for that 1-1 tie.
Eagles, can they get one last chance perhaps? 2 minutes and change. And it will be a corner kick. Georgia Southern still pressuring.
And this is when you want to send everyone up, everyone forward, and corner kicks and set pieces.
Ethan LePan trying to get it in position. Fancy footwork down there, another takedown. Eagles able to keep it alive off the deflection. Too many white jerseys.
Vargas with a shot inside the box, not a clear one, gets deflected. And Southern with another corner kick. This is when you want to bring everyone, including your goalkeeper, who's going to go 60, 70 yards just to get to the end line.
Jack Fowley in range. And this one is out of bounds. It will be Georgia Southern ball again. And yes, Fowley in the light blue shirt. Now down, trying to give his team the numbers edge. There he is. Will it make a difference here?
1 minute remaining. 1 minute.
Under a minute. Eagles. Oh, batted out of there by Buckner. Fowley trying to keep the run alive. Buckner again. Got to give Tom Buckner credit. He has been cool under fire here this afternoon.
He's been great. As the fans are doing the countdown for the goalkeeper.
Buckner just sending it downfield, making it that much more difficult.
Good, then he goes the other way for a long punt.
Under 20 seconds. Time is running out for the host school. Ethan LePan.
And this is when you want to send it long.
9,
Tee it up and hit it.
7, 6.
Hartwick trying to hang on. Eagles, can they get one more shot? Not going to happen.
1. 0.
And that'll do it.
That's the end of the game, fans.
The
Your final
Hartwick
score,
Hawks
Hartwick Hawks
have
1,
pulled off the upset.
Southern 0. Get up, fans, in the Sun Belt
Hartwick has come to Statesboro and broken Georgia Southern's hearts, winning the Sun Belt Soccer Championship on the men's side. And Eddie, you got to give the team from New York lots of credit.
You have to. They knew what the plan was for them. They knew they were not the favorite team, but nevertheless, they came in here. They established their system. They knew they were going to play defensively. It worked for them. They knew they had to score on set pieces. And the coach told us that's pretty much the way we're going to do it. We're going to sit back and play a little more defensively. It worked for them. You have to give them credit for creating that strategy and sticking to the plan as well.